Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show, talking with Krystal Joy Brown, star of Motown. She plays Diana Ross on Broadway, which is, as I've been saying, pressure. I mean, I'm 46 years old, so I'm even a little young when Motown really hit. But my parents and aunts and uncles and older, people that I knew all listened to it when I was growing up. And like Marvin Gaye was one of my favorites. So I mean, you're younger. I mean, did you grow up with an appreciation of Motown?
Oh yeah. I mean, we had the Christmas album since I was a kid.
Right.
And we just always listened to it. It's just something that you always had around. You always listened to Marvin Gaye. I mean, I grew up listening to all of that.
Have you ever been to Detroit?
I have not yet.
I've been there plenty. Well, I was just in the hospital there for 9 days. That was wonderful. But, I've done stand-up there a bunch of times. And I drove by the Hitsville. It's one of the coolest American sort of tourist things to do. It's really cool to see that building.
Yeah, well, now it's a museum. So you can kind of go in and tour. It's a historical monument, you know. Just what Motown did. It really allowed, I guess, white people all over the country to kind of start listening to soul music, which it just became pop music. And it's like the Supremes went on tour with the Beatles. So
I mean, think about that show first of all. I saw Vixen open up for Eddie Money once. I enjoyed it. I couldn't imagine the Supremes at Montclair State College. Now, in the show, do you cover Diana Ross discovering the Jackson 5? Because that's the legend, that she discovered them and brought them to Barry Gordy.
Well, that's what people say.
That's the legend.
Suzanne DePass actually supposedly was the one that really discovered the Jackson 5. So they tell that story, but she presents them, and because she presented them, she kind of got the credit. But when they moved from Detroit and Indiana to Hollywood, to LA, they stayed in her house.
Right.
So she housed them. She took care of them.
It was a big family, Motown. It really was. Yeah.
But also, competition breeds champions, and that's one of Barry Gordy's
controversy.
Mottos. So
Well, now, does somebody play Michael Jackson in the show?
There's a young Michael Jackson.
And how young?
There's two of them.
As a kid?
Yeah. They're 11 and 13.
He was like 11 years old.
Yeah. And they're incredible. And
how do you find that kid? How do you find
They found this kid in LA.
Right.
They found them somewhere in the South. They're all over now because now we have a tour.
Yeah.
So, So now we need like 6 of them, and I'm just astonished at how amazing these kids are. And they sound just like him. They move just like him.
It's amazing.
It is.
And I hear the same about you with Diana.
Right. Do they work every night? I mean, aren't there like child labor laws or something?
There are child labor laws. Yes, but they switch
Barry
off.
Gordy has never acknowledged them. Got out there.
Does he circumvent them? No.
No, they're treated super well.
Let's hear ABC one more time. Daddy needs a new car.
They're out there working like.
Oh, I saw Tito on a documentary about Michael Jackson talking about their schedule. They're from their father. They would go from Gary, Indiana. They'd go to school all day. He'd take them in a van to Chicago. They do like 4 shows till 2 in the morning. Drive them back. Do their homework in the van on the way back, and then go to school the next day, and then come home, rehearse every day. I've seen, because I've traveled so much, I passed by the house that the Jacksons lived in Gary, Indiana. It is the size of this desk. The fact that they learned those routines in that house is the most astonishing thing I've ever seen. One bathroom. How do you learn those routines?
It was like all the same room, right? They were all in one room.
I mean, that's the most fascinating thing about the story is they learned it in that house.
But that's the thing that he did. He took people that were completely below the means of becoming megastars and polished them and created these.
Right.
Like really well-oiled machines.
Just a marketing genius, basically. Barry Gordy. Finding the right songwriters too for the voices of these people and everything. And now, how many songs total do you sing in the show?
I sing about 15.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And you sing the whole thing through, or are they medleys type thing?
They're kind of medleys. Some are like snippets, and some are full songs.
Right. I got to say, there's probably a lot of Broadway purists who don't like the way Broadway went. They want to see Streetcar Named Desire. But I got to say, I love it because it appeals to me now, shows like this. Because I love, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons I grew up listening to. Motown I grew up listening to. I've seen the Jersey Boys like 3 times. I'm dying to see this now. Like, I didn't even, it wasn't even on my radar. I'm just dying to see it now. And I want to see it with you doing it. And I want to see Hair with you.
Well, when you come, I'm going to pull you up on stage and make you sing.
Oh,
with
yeah,
me.
that'll be good. The audience will love that.
No.
Whenever you're near, I hear a symphony.
No, you're going to sing Reach Out and Touch.
Okay. I got to learn that one.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Do you want to sing it with
How
me?
does that go? Go ahead.
It goes, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. Come on, let's raise our hands.
We're already over our budget.
Come on. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. That was beautiful.
What a great. So you were my Bette Midler. You were my Bette Midler.
That's all you have to do. And now I'm going to pull you up and you'll have your Broadway debut.
That'll be cut out of the radio. Again, we don't have the budget.
Barry Gordy Wilson.
Now, you think of the money Barry Gordy must have. Do you ever sit down and think of that and make you hate him?
You mean like Google it?
Does it make you hate him?
Like, did I Google it?
Do you ever look at your paycheck and go, he could afford more than this? Think about the songs he has the rights to. My God.
It's insane.
I heard through the grapevine there's $100 million alone. I heard through the grapevine it's $20 million. That gone.
Yeah.
Stop in the name of love. There's another 20.
Yeah.
The guy's worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
He should buy out Donald Sterling. Barry Gordy should own the Clippers tomorrow.
Well, then they might be a better team.
Right.
Oh,
People might want to play.
sorry.
Listen. It is a legendary thing to be a part of. And it's so cool that you're doing it. You know, it's have your parents come to see the show?
Yeah.
They must be so proud.
Actually, my mom's fiance died the day before I started of lung cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So then she came like a week later, but it was just like I just knew that he was there.
Were you close to him then?
Very close.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, yeah. Well, listen. Sometimes stuff like that can heal you.
Yeah.
You know? Music. It really.
And it
is
motivated me to want to do a great show.
Yeah.
And because he was a performer as well, so he kind of inspired me.
It is music that gets you emotional and can help you in a time like that. I want to take another break, and when we come back, we'll finish up with Krystal Joy Brown. Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Krystal Joy Brown, who on my last show was the first person that has got me to sing. So,
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
It was an epic moment.
She's my Bette Midler, me and John Rich. You got a fullback and a comedian to sing.
I am so honored.
Krystal Joy Brown from Motown plays Diana Ross. I think that says something about her. Now, how old were you when you started singing? Were you a child, sort of?
Yeah, I was really young.
Actress? Did you do stuff as a kid?
I was doing like the Children of the Gospel Choir in Washington, D.C. when I was 7.
Did you start in church?
Yes. Well, I
Right.
went to an Episcopal church, so the singing wasn't great.
Was that a racist question? Kind of like you must have started in a church.
Yes, obviously. Gospel? You sing gospel?
I mean, they start in churches, these people. Do I not pay for the churches? Who else pays for the church? I do.
Well,
Now, you started in a choir at 7.
Yeah.
So you could sing at 7.
yeah, I was
Which is
singing.
odd because it's no guarantee you can sing as an adult if you could sing at 7.
That's true.
Right.
And definitely my voice has changed, and I think it will continue to change. It just does.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was helpful to be in choir. But then I went into opera, and then I started a punk band. And then
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
What
it
was
turned
the
into.
what was the name of the punk band? Can you say it? A good punk band's name you can't say, actually. But
It's like Pussy Riot, but not.
okay. That might have made it on the air. I don't know. It made it to DirecTV.
Yeah, that's
so
a
it's-
band. Yeah.
That is a band,
That's
though.
a
right?
band.
Yeah, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a
It's like a
legitimate
cat.
band.
It's in that league
They're
of
all
names.
arrested, but
Yeah.
they're, yes.
Well, the best punk name was in the very beginning, the Sex Pistols. You can't beat that. Yeah.
By the way, I just met Johnny Rotten like 3 weeks ago.
Are you a fan of his like I am?
I am such a fan, especially after meeting him.
Right.
And the selfies that we did,
Yeah.
he is insane.
Right.
I mean, he's a character.
They were a good band.
Yeah.
They were
Great band.
yeah.
One of my favorites. I mean,
Right.
but like I started off a little different. I like a lot of rock. My first show I ever saw was, Limp Bizkit.
Boy,
And
talk
like,
about
I
a
mean-
band that went. They got old quick.
Yeah,
Like that guy was the biggest thing in the world, and a
It's
joke.
huge.
He became a joke like in 24 hours.
Yeah.
I wonder
Fred
why.
Durst. Yeah, it's
And
weird.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
that was my
Camarello
first,
I love, yeah.
I mean, and yeah.
You're in a band now, too, right?
Yes, I have a band. We're fairly new, but it's like a kind of a folk band.
A folk? You went from punk to folk?
Is it at least folk
I have lots
rock
of things
or
going
something?
on. Like I write dance music.
We're talking about covering the genres. Motown, folk, and punk?
I know. I am confused is really what's happening.
Well, you know what your problem is? You're talented at too many things.
That's
God
true.
gave me one talent. You're looking at it. That's it. I didn't have to choose anything.
You talk.
You got to focus.
You talk funny.
I'm a BSer.
Yeah, and you're good at it.
I'm a con artist. But so you've decided. Can you decide what you want to do for a long time?
I'm like you. I like to change things up.
Well, good.
And I'll constantly try to change things up as much as I
Well,
can.
I hope you keep doing that. You're great at stuff. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming here.
I'm so happy to be here.
And
I'm
thanks
excited to see what's next for all of you.
Yeah, well, thanks for getting us to sing. Krystal Joy Brown, see her in Motown at the L'Enfontaine Theater on 46th Street in the heart of everything. And I can't thank you enough for being a part of this. Okay. Krystal Joy, thank you so much. Back after this with the great Ala Abdelnabi and some phone calls. A lot of people calling.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.